All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about something that I think everyone can relate to on some level, psychological triggers. We're going to look at what they are, sure, but more importantly, we're going to flip the script on how we see them. We'll see how to stop looking at them as failures and start seeing them as, believe it or not, part of the path to healing.
You know that feeling, right? You're having a perfectly fine day, you're moving on with your life, and then, bam, a song comes on the radio or you catch a certain smell, and it's like a time machine you didn't ask for. It just yanks you right back to a moment of pain, and it can feel like a total punch to the gut. That's exactly the moment we're digging into today.
So what is actually going on when that happens? Well, a trigger is really just a cue. It's some little signal from the outside world or even from inside our own heads that our body and our mind connect to a past trauma. And it's so powerful that it reactivates all those old feelings, and suddenly the past doesn't feel like the past at all. It feels like it's happening right now.
Now, listen to this, because this is the absolute game changer. It is so easy to feel weak or like you failed when you get triggered, to think, ugh, I thought I was over this. But what if we saw it differently? What if a trigger isn't a sign you're failing, but an invitation from your own heart to pay attention and go a little deeper into your own healing?
Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does it actually look like in real life? Let's check out a couple of really powerful stories that show how this whole mindset shift can play out when things get real.
So picture this. There's Maria. She's been doing the incredibly hard work of healing after her husband's affair. We're talking therapy, prayer, just rebuilding. And she's doing okay. But then, one day, she hears the song, the one he dedicated to the other woman. Instantly, her heart drops, her body gets tense, and all that pain just floods back in.
But this is where everything changes for her. Instead of just drowning in that feeling, she stops. She takes a breath, and she speaks a simple truth that she has practiced for moments just like this one. She says, "God, you are my refuge and strength." She reminds herself that the song isn't the truth, her strength is the truth.
Okay, now let's talk about Dante. 3 years sober. That is a massive deal. He's built a totally new life. But then, he walks by an old alley, a place from his past, and he sees someone he used to use drugs with. And that temptation, it just hits him like a ton of bricks. It's a direct challenge to the new person he's become.
So what does Dante do? He doesn't just try to tough it out. He immediately calls his sponsor, he pulls out his journal, and he reads a truth he's held onto for years. He reminds himself that, yeah, this feeling is real, but it is not the truth of who he is anymore. He is not that guy in the alley.
These stories are so inspiring, right? They show us that we can have a plan. So let's build our own practical toolkit. We're going to look at 5 clear, simple things you can actually do the next time you feel a trigger trying to take over.
Here they are. We're going to look at a couple of these a little closer, but just notice, these are all actions. Breathing, grounding yourself, speaking, praying, writing. This isn't about just hoping the feeling goes away. This is about taking back control.
Let's zoom in on grounding. This is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. See, a trigger wants to pull you into the past. This 5 senses exercise literally forces your brain back into the present moment. It makes you focus on what's real, right here and right now. And it sends a signal to your whole body that you are actually safe.
And the truth journal. I love this one. It's all about being prepared. You basically figure out the specific lies your brain tends to tell you when you're triggered. A lie like, "I'm not lovable." And then you go find a powerful, specific truth to fight back with. That way, when the lie shows up, you're not surprised. You've got your answer locked and loaded.
So, we have our tools. But let's zoom out again and ask a bigger question. Why do we even have these triggers in the first place? What are they really telling us about where we are on our journey?
And here's such a kind, compassionate way to think about it. Triggers are not proof that you're broken or that your healing isn't working. They are just signposts. They're pointing to the spots that are still a little tender, the places that just need a little more of your attention. They are your guides, not your enemies.
This chart just lays it out so clearly. The voice of a trigger is almost always frantic. It screams, "You're in danger. You'll never get over this. This feeling will last forever." But the voice of truth is calm. It says, I'm safe right now. I am in the process of healing. And my favorite, this is a memory, not a prophecy. Wow, that is so powerful.
And really, that's the attitude we can take with us. A trigger can feel exactly like walking through that valley of the shadow of death, can it? It's a place filled with old ghosts and dark memories. But the promise here is that we can walk through it. We don't have to be afraid, because we're not walking alone.
So, let's pull all these threads together. The goal isn't to magically erase our triggers so they never happen again. The goal is to learn how to walk this path of healing with our heads held high, knowing exactly what to do when we hit those tough spots.
And if you take away anything, let it be this. You are not weak because you get triggered. You are strong because you are healing. These moments are actually opportunities to stand up and face the past with new tools. And every single time you choose truth over that old fear, you are taking back a piece of your own heart. You're reclaiming who you truly are.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one that this is all leading to. It's not a matter of if a trigger will pop up, but when. And when it does, what truth will you be ready to speak? What truth will you speak next?